Everybody in here either know or have heard of John 3:16. Am I right about it? You're going to watch football in a minute. Somebody going to have a little sign say John 3:16. But knowing it and applying it is two different things. Lord have mercy. See, my brothers and sisters, some of us are versed through the Word. But we're not helping anyone with the Word. We know the Scripture, and most Scriptures we use for defense. When we mess up, the first thing we say is all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. Yet when somebody comes in God's house, they don't look like we look. What do you mean? I mean, they've been partying all night long. They come in smelling like weed, and they come in smelling like alcohol. And the first thing we stir is just a shame the way they come to church. First of all, they'll be glad that they're here. Second of all, there used to be a time when we did the same thing. Some of us will still do it, but blood pressure medicine and alcohol just don't mix no more. I know you tried, it just don't mix. Took that blood pressure pill and took that hit, and then you got... Lord, I can't do nothing no more. Another issue with us that we come into the house of God carrying bitterness. The world has made us so bitter towards one another that we have feel the same way toward one another in the house of God. We think everybody's out to get us. And 9 times out of 10 in the world they are. There's somebody trying to get your money. Lord have mercy. Whether you have any or not, they're trying to get it. But my brothers and sisters, when you come into the house of God, you must understand that nothing you do means anything if you don't have love. I love this choir. Y'all give our choir a hand. Y'all give our choir a hand. That's enough to go to their head. That'll go to their head. But if hard as they sing, if they don't have love in their heart, it's never leaving the building. I believe we have some great musicians. Y'all give our musicians a hand. Hard as they play, if they're not playing in love, it's never leaving. You have a good pastor, y'all give your pastor. And I'm playing. As hard as I preach, if I don't preach loving you and loving God, then we can't go anywhere as a family. Wish I had somebody here. Oh, brothers and sisters, as I began to look at this, Ephesians 4:31 says, let all bitterness, wrath, anger, clamor, and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, just as Christ forgave you. We walk in the church with an attitude. Because somebody gonna say something smart, somebody gonna say something crazy, somebody gonna rub us the wrong way. I've heard folks say it made me mad, it took me out my joy. Well, you ain't had much joy to begin with. Shouldn't nobody be able to take you out of your joy? God has woke you up this morning. I don't care what you call me, I know who I am. Speak to me or don't speak to me. I'm good either way. She didn't speak to me this morning. That's fine. She ain't the one that wakes me up in the morning. Not the one that gives me my blessing. If you don't never speak to me, the new pastor don't speak to me. Baby, if I don't speak to you, it's because you ain't got within 15 yards of me. Because I holler at everybody. Wish I had somebody here. And then sometimes we don't know what other folk are going through. There could be a reason why they didn't speak to you. She didn't speak to me at church today. Well, the reason she didn't speak to you because she just found out she got cancer. And her husband's threatening to leave her. And her kids won't behave. She ain't got time to worry about you right now. Lord have mercy. When they don't speak to you, you ought to speak on their behalf. When they don't speak to you, instead of getting mad, you ought to go to them and say, is everything all right? We have to learn how to walk in love. First thing we do is get hot. She didn't speak to you, now you mad. And because you mad because she didn't speak to you, you ain't going to speak to the next person that speaks to you. Ain't nothing but a disease that's translating from person to person to person to person. But when you love somebody, man, folks say amen. How many of y'all do that? Y'all get mad and won't speak to one another. Amen. Amen. Yeah. Get mad and get quiet. You live in the same house. You're going to have to speak to that person sooner. And the Lord will fix it where you got to speak to one another. I can testify about me. Sometimes I get mad in the morning. I'm not a morning person. Some of y'all know this for the fact that I had coffee this morning. And I don't speak to everybody right away. I got to get some time to get my thoughts in my head together. And sometimes, I don't speak to First Lady in the morning. I just get up and get to moving. But then I got to speak to her because it's always something I can't find. Baby, have you seen? She never said, no, I ain't seen it, which makes me more mad. But when you love somebody, you speak to them regardless of how they treat you. Lord